Yeehaw! And welcome back to the Southern Snack where life is too short to be serious. All right, we're back at Crumbl. I guess this technically falls in line with back to school week. I don't really know. The past 2 years they had done that, and I didn't really look into if they were advertising as back to school. But I'm going to go ahead and say it's back to school week because it's got a lot of themes that go with back to school, and a lot of people are going back to school. So next week doesn't look like as much of that. This looks more like it than next week, because next week, spoiler alert, there's going to be a pumpkin flavor. So it's more like a fall-esque type of thing. You know, you don't think about pumpkin when you're going back to school, right? So this is what I would associate as back to school. So hopefully you guys subscribe, like, and comment on this video. None of the flavors are new to me. Maybe it's new to you. There are some really enjoyable flavors in this lineup. This isn't like a lineup that I'm overly hyped for. I wish there was like still fruity flavors. There's plenty that we've missed this past summer. Very disappointed, but you know, it is what it is. Mystery Cookie Week's coming up soon again, but there's a week here coming very soon. It's 3 new flavors. I'm pumped up about that. That's the one I'm looking forward to. I know I'm keeping my eye too close to the future, right? But I like new flavors, so I'm really pumped up about what's coming that week. It looks like a fire lineup. But yeah, so very busy week. Chick-fil-A, Dairy Queen, Wingstop, got a few Popeyes reviews I'll be uploading. So very busy day too. We're not really gonna make any snack posts today. Usually I do that on Instagram. It's all going to be foodie reviews, so it's going to be a fun day, jam-packed full of all types of content from Crumbl and Chick-fil-A. So just stay tuned, give it a try. Don't just focus on Crumbl, right? I feel like a lot of y'all watch my Crumbl reviews and then you dip, but y'all aren't just eating Crumbl. That's not your only source of food, is it? I mean, y'all like to splurge and get Chick-fil-A and stuff, right? So Chick-fil-A has new items today, so y'all need to go watch that review. But yeah, so terrible thumbnail. I don't know what's going on. I hope the cookie doesn't fall. It never does, but it was trying to. Cookie butter lava was slipping under there. We'll go ahead and start with French silk pie. No, I'm not breaking this in half. Someone told me I should cut them in half. I will break cookie butter lava in half, but there's really not much to see on the inside of these other than like confetti cake, so I'll break that in half too for y'all. But I mean, it's going to be this same filling. You'll eat the pie crust. You know, y'all probably want to know how deep it is, but I want to cut. We're going to see a piece. So don't worry. We're going to go ahead and try it out. These chilled ones are a little bit harder to cut. Trust me, I'm not eating a lot of Crumbl today. A, because I know what these flavors are like. B, because I've got so many reviews to do. But as you see, a dark chocolate base. Again, it's very delicious. Very reminiscent of a Hershey pie with silky chocolate flavors. I like the dynamic there. A little bit dry. And I don't remember I've ever given this a 10 before. And I'm not going to give it a 10 today, obviously. But I still think it's very refreshing, very enjoyable. And I give it a solid 9 out of 10. A lot of people love this one, and there's a reason for it. Despite being slightly dry. I mean, that's the pie crust. It's supposed to be slightly dry. Super flavorful, and it's refreshing. Very refreshing. So, moving on to, we're going to go to Snickerdoodle Cupcake. I'm going to change our palette for a minute. I dropped some chocolate on there, so yeah, some silk pie crust. But that's your Snickerdoodle Cupcake. Again, not filled with anything. It's just a Snickerdoodle, so why would you want to see the middle of that? I don't know. But you want me to describe the center to y'all? It's slightly gooey, slightly dry. You know, you're going to get to look at it. See how in the middle it gets gooey, and then on the outside it gets dry. I mean, that's the case with a lot of Crumbl cookies. So here we go. A lot of people love this cookie, and for good reason. The mix of cream cheese and cinnamon sugar is really nice. It's a good dynamic. It's still not my favorite cookie. I prefer churro slightly above this one, if not equally to it. You know, the churros buttercream, so there's not that tang of cream cheese, which I like cream cheese. I just don't like it as much as buttercream. For me, it's nice and gooey on the center, not too dry on the edges. Of course, that cream cheese adds a lot of fluff, you know, makes it very creamy for good reason. And it's a solid cookie. I'd definitely give it an 8.5. I know sometimes I might have given it like a 7, 7.5, or 8. But I think it's when it's really good, but there's a certain ceiling it reaches. 8.5 is adequate for me. A lot of people love this one. I really enjoy it, but I don't love it. So again, I think a lot of people are going to love this week. You know, particularly looking at most of these flavors other than confetti, which is just a waste of a spot. Might as well just put pink sugar back, right? But that's just life. All right, we're gonna jump into Reese's Puffs. So it's a chilled base and peanut butter cream cheese icing, apparently, and then Reese's Puff pieces. They changed the name. It's like a chocolate. I don't really know what it is, but and for good reason. Like when I think about Reese's Puffs, I think about the dry cereal pieces on top here. I'm thinking more of like a drier, crispier cookie than what you get here. I mean, this is a solid cookie, and I'm definitely the rating's gonna reflect that. But for me, you know, I don't think this is like very emblematical of actual Reese's Puffs. So we'll go ahead and eat this. Hold on, let me take the cereal piece off real quick. Wow. Okay. People say this didn't change, but in my opinion, that peanut butter tasted a lot more like Reese's Puffs than I remember. Wow. And you know, you can't barely taste the cream cheese, but that saltiness of it really gave off Reese's Puff 5s. And I took the cereal piece off just to see if what I was tasting was like right, and it was. It's like, I'm shocked. I really am. And I already gave this cookie 8.5 last time. I wouldn't say it's as great as a 10. I think just like with Silk Pie, that base is maybe not dry in this instance, but it's you know, not as good as like a warm cookie, you know, for this. But it makes sense for it to be chilled, right? It's cereal. So even though it's not like a crispy, you know, cookie that I would think we could associate with Reese's Puffs, it tasted like Reese's Puffs, like maybe with a denser chocolate flavor, but that peanut butter, that threw me back because I don't remember it being like that. It used to have chocolate chips too, by the way. Someone's gonna get mad if I don't mention that. It also used to have that, and maybe that's part of why I can taste the frosting a little bit better, is maybe because the chocolate chips are gone. But man, wow, okay. 9 out of 10. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on and on about that. So cookie butter lava. Y'all want me to split this open, I'm sure. So we'll go ahead and try that. Ooh. See, here's my issue with this cookie. This is looking like a Krispy Kreme donut, a filled Krispy Kreme. You see one side has nothing, the other side has something. You gotta do better. You gotta do better than that, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut a piece that has something in it, right? And we're gonna kind of rate based off of that. But for what I got out of this cookie, it's definitely getting nowhere close to a 10, right? You know, it's got to be filled all the way. So that piece right there that I just had is that cookie at its best. You know, if it was filled all the way through, it would be amazing. But it's not filled all the way through. And it's not the first time I've had issues on that, right? It's always an issue on trying to get these cookies to have what they're supposed to. And so, I wouldn't give this a cookie a 10 anyways. I would probably give it 8.5 just because, again, there's certain limitations. Like, this is just not a sugar cookie, but like a brown sugar cookie with cookie butter, I like cookie butter ice cream more. It's got more dynamic to it. But it's still really good. Like, again, on a normal day, I would get an 8.5. This one, I'm going to give it an 8. And I know that's not too harsh on it, but I'm going to give it an 8 just because this whole cookie should have been filled. This whole cookie should have been. And it just fell short. So, I don't know. I don't know what happened. But that's just life. All right, confetti. Break it in half, so you can see the pretty inside. And then you know what I'm going to do? Take this little nugget right here. Oh. And we're going to eat. It's a sugar cookie. That's all it is, with pretty sprinkles. It doesn't offend me, but it doesn't please me. I'm going to give it a 4. Some days I would have considered a 5, but I think it's just the blandness of it makes me give it a 4. It's not bad, so I'm not going to give it lower than a 4. But 4 is the, I guess, floor for it. 5 might be the ceiling. So it's not going to ever find itself high, but I just don't think it's even sweet enough for it to be a 5, right? It's just kind of bland. So, yeah, that is this week's Crumbl cookies. I think they've got 4 flavors with a lot of potential to them. So, I wouldn't say this is like a skip week by any means. I just wish there was a little bit more diversity in this lineup. So, anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this review, and I will see y'all around.